So we're going to give the group in front of us just a little bit of space before we take off. But keep in mind, as we're coming onto the track here, we want to get up to 4th gear. Alright, let's go ahead and get moving. Like I mentioned, pull back on that right paddle shifter a few times until we get up to 4th gear, because that's the gear that we would want coming into this corner. So come into corner 1, we should be in 4th gear, already looking to the right for our our turning cone. At that point, we're going to start to turn the car in, but we don't want to come all the way to that curbing. We more just want to straddle this seam in the asphalt right here, and then bringing it over nice and tight to our apex, getting those tires up on the curbing. From there, we'll let the car come out to about mid-track, already start scanning, looking for a turning cone on the far end here. And as we're on the brakes here, we'll be coming down to 3rd gear, turning in to the right here, looking for our apex, and then unwinding towards the outside where this blue curbing is. From here, we'll do a little bit of turning, and then we want to get the car straightened as we come off this drop here, and we want to be in 4th gear by the time that we do that. From there, we're going to work our way back out to the outside of the track here and start to turn, holding 4th gear through here. If you start scanning to your right, you'll see this apex cone that's right here at the top of the hill. Basically want to get to there, unwinding to the outside, and then we'll be shifting to 5th gear on this back straight. Where we are right now, this is going to be our rotation zone. We're not rotating this lap, but this is where it'll be done. Again, you'll get early and firm on the brakes here, already scanning for this cone on the left, and downshifting into 4th in the braking zone there. Coming through this corner, we'll be about mid-track. And if we're maintaining a little bit of speed with the throttle, we'll be able to lift off, which will get us pointed to the right here so we can get to that apex. And then we'll start working our way over to the left side of the track. This corner is a little bit tricky. We're actually going to come in from the inside like this, and then balancing with our brakes, we'll come out to the middle, turning it in nice and tight to the left. You can see our apex cone here if you're scanning. From here, we'll come out about mid-track, getting it turned in to our apex on the right here. And then again, middle of the track, turning in for our cone on the left. Working our way back over here, be down into 3rd gear here, looking to our right for our apex cone, and unwinding towards the outside of the track. Now, you'll notice there's 2 lines here. We want to be at the second one here that has the apex curve, the entry curbing and our turning cone here. Again, we'll be turning to the right here, getting close to this apex, unwinding back to the outside with the just point, working our way back over. We don't want to come all the way out to the curbing over there, but just kind of about a car width away from it. Again, here, we'll be on the brakes, looking to our left, already scanning for that apex cone that's way out there, bringing it in nice and tight, keeping it about that seam in the asphalt, and then over. Again, we're only coming out about mid-track here, then working our way back to the left. Again, downshift to 3rd gear with the left paddle here, turning in nice and tight to the apex on the right. Unwind. We'd be accelerating a little bit here, grabbing 4th gear. Getting pointed straight, and then coming down the drop here. Start scanning ahead, looking for our turning cone on the left. We'll get turned in, working our way back over to the right here, looking for our 2 apex cones and trying to ride that curbing between the 2 cones. As we unwind to the outside, we'd be coming into 5th gear here. However, this time we're going to go ahead and rotate. So Steve, if you can move on over to the right-hand side, bring the pace way down, or we let Oscar and George come up behind me. Once the gray car is passed, then Steve, you can get back in line. Again, we'll be waiting for that turning cone, staying about the middle of the track here. You'll be on the throttle a little bit through here, then lifting to get turned in to the right here, bring us right up against this apex. Again, we'll kind of unwind back to the kind of middle of the track, staying here, then bringing it in nice and tight, entering this corner from the left. Touch of brakes here, and again, scanning ahead, looking for our apex on the left. Once we get there, unwinding back to the center of the track. Making sure we're getting to all of our apexes here. As we work up here, we'll be down to third gear in the braking zone here, looking to the right for our apex cone. Bring it nice and tight here, unwinding out to that second seam, or line in the asphalt here. And already looking for a turning cone on the left. We'll be giving it just a touch of brakes as we come into this one as we're going faster. And we'd be working our way up to fifth gear. Then our braking zone here, back down to fourth, already looking left. This corner will definitely take some balance with the brakes, you know, just kind of dragging the brakes to this corner, looking for our apex on the left there. Bringing it nice and tight there, and again, unwinding back to about the middle of the track. In the braking zone here, back down to third gear, looking right. Unwind all the way out to our exit curbing here. We're back on the gas, getting up to fourth gear. Now we want to make sure that our steering wheel is straight as we go over the drop there. So you'll have to give it a little bit of steering at the beginning there to get it, you know, pointed so that you're straight coming over that. Again, coming over this hill here, we're already looking to the right for these two apex cones, riding that curving, unwinding to the outside. Now we're going to do another rotation, so Oscar, go ahead and move on over. George, come on up behind me. And Oscar, once Steve's past you in the orange car, then you can hop back in line. So again, coming back into here, balancing with those brakes as we come around. Again, we'll be back on the throttle, kind of mid-corner, not hard, but just enough to kind of feather our weight and maintain speed. Then we'll lift off. That's going to get us pulled over here to the right. Again, coming back to about the middle of the track and bringing it nice and tight to the left here. Bring it out again, kind of to the middle of the track. Already looking ahead for our apex cone on the left here. Get up on that curbing there, back to the middle. Already looking for our apex cone on the right. And still scanning up ahead to the left here. So let it come out just a little bit here. And then back down to third gear. Looking to our right for this apex as we unwind here. All the way out to that second line. Grabbing fourth gear. Waiting for that turning cone. Getting pointed over to the right here. And again, we'll come out here about, you know, kind of middle of the track. Maybe one car width from that curving on the left there. And then back to fifth gear. And then back to fourth as we're coming into this corner again. Keep it about where the seam in the asphalt is. Pretty tight in here. Again, looking to the left for our apex. We'll unwind out of there. As we come down here, back to third gear, looking to the right for our apex. We're going back to the throttle, again grabbing fourth gear. Making sure to get the steering wheel pointed so that we are straight as we go over the drop here. Again, working our way back out to this turning cone and start to bring it in nice and tight to the right here. Again, looking ahead for these apex cones over the crest here. Unwinding, we'd be getting into fifth gear here, but we're going to go ahead and rotate again. So George, if you can move on over to the right. Steve and Oscar, come on up behind me. George, once the white car is passed, you can hop back in line. So again, coming in here, you'll be riding the brakes on entry, then back to the throttle. Again, just lifting off the gas a bit to get us onto this apex here. Now, something we can do in this corner up here is as we're in the braking zone here, we can actually do an optional third gear downshift. Again, scanning ahead, looking for our apex here, back to the throttle. Again, scanning ahead, looking for our apexes. Again, to the brakes here, looking to our right. Unwind out to the second seam. We should be, again, grabbing fourth about here somewhere. Just a touch of brakes at that turning cone to get us turned in here. Again, let's get up on that apex curving. And then we're unwinding towards the outside, you know, maybe about car width away from that curving there. Working our way back over here. again, back down to 4th. Working our way over towards the center of the track here. Again, kind of straddling that curve, looking for our apex on the left, then bringing it in nice and tight. Again, in the braking zone here, down to 3rd gear with the left paddle, looking to our right. Get to that apex, unwind, accelerate here. Again, grabbing 4th gear, getting the car turned, and then straight as we go over the drop there. Working our way all the way out to our turn-in cone here. Again, bringing it back over to the right. To come over the crest here, ride this curving between the 2 cones. And here we'd be, again, getting 5th gear, but we're going to rotate. Yep, so Oscar pulling over there. Bring the speed down. Sorry, I meant Steve. Oscar's behind me, followed by George. There we go, looking to our right here, again, keeping it middle of the track. And bringing it nice and tight to the right here. Again, just keep scanning ahead, kind of looking for where we're going. Here we're going to be pretty close coming from the inside. Again, kind of riding the brakes here, optional 3rd gear downshift as you're getting ready to turn in. Bringing it back over tight to this apex. Again, staying mid, already scanning ahead for our next one. Again, for brakes here, coming up to the turn-in cone on the left, looking to our right for our apex. And again, we're going to come out to this 2nd white line here, grabbing 4th gear. So we turn in here. Again, coming out about here. We'll be finding 5th gear somewhere on this straight, and then again, nice and firm on the brakes. Down to 4th, and pulling it in, kind of center at first, then back over to the seam of the asphalt, scanning ahead for our apex on the left. Again, coming down the hill here, nice and firm on those brakes, down to 3rd gear, looking right. Line towards the outside here. Grab 4th gear, get it turned at that turn-in cone, and then straight over the drop. There we go, looking good. Coming all the way out to our turn-in cone, bringing it in nice and tight to the right here, riding the curve between the 2 cones. And again, we'd be grabbing 5th here, but we're going to rotate. Yep, nice job. Oscar, go ahead, bring the speed down. There we go, nice job. All right, again, we'll just kind of ride the brakes coming in here. Now, generally, if we're not doing a rotation there, that's going to be a fast straightaway, so you really need to get on the brakes firm and pick a braking marker there that's going to work. So again, coming up here, we're entering from the left side of the track, down to 3rd gear if you'd like. Bringing it nice and tight to that apex. Then to the one on the right, already scanning ahead to the one on the left. If you didn't elect to downshift to 3rd a few corners ago, that's where you want to do it, is right before that one. Again, unwinding to the outside, getting back to 4th. Just brushing the brakes here to get turned in. And again, working our way out towards the outside of the track, leaving about a car width. And again, as we're coming here towards the middle of the track, turning it in nice and tight, straddling that seam, and then bringing it over to our apex here. Again, back out to the middle. Firm brakes coming down the hill, downshift to 3rd, looking right. Line to the outside there, grab 4th gear. Make sure we get pointed straight over that drop here, then working our way out to that turn-in cone. Coming around over the crest here, bringing it in nice and tight. And this will be our last rotation, so George, go ahead and move on over to the right, and then Steve and Oscar, come on up behind me. And yours, you can get back in line. So again, coming through this corner here, we'll be on the brakes at the beginning, then back to the gas, and then about here, a little bit of lift of the throttle is going to help us get rotated to turn in tight to that apex there. Coming up here, as mentioned, if we're in the braking zone here, we can go down to third, letting it out wide a little bit, and then bringing it back in nice and tight. We're already looking ahead for our next couple of apexes. Making sure to stay about middle of the track. Alright, so we'll be exiting the track now, so let's go ahead and put our left turn signals on. Nice job out there, everyone. Hopefully giving you a pretty good view of the track there and kind of figuring out where your points are. Our next exercise is going to be our braking exercise, which focuses on ABS and accident avoidance. So definitely a pretty helpful class that's going to be, pretty logical and something that you want to know for daily driving for sure. You guys can reach up and go ahead and stop the PDR recording at this point in time, and then you can also